the flow and have fun. Yeah, it looks like we're live.
Let's go, Heinrich.
I'll give it a bit to see comments come through. I want to see it come up on my section. So otherwise, how are you? It's the first time actually talking to you normally. Oh, wait, you're gone. Other guys, we are getting Heinrich soon. I've just lost him. So hopefully we'll get him now. Don't know where he disappeared to. Keep the comments coming. We're on the right place. That looks like he's here. Let's get him back. There he is. You're all back.
There we go.
Where did you go?
Yeah.
Where did you disappear?
I guess I pushed the wrong button.
No worries. Did you have my question? How's it going? Or introduce yourself to the world. They all know you as your name in the stream section, but now you can have a chat and let everyone know who the real Heinrich is.
Oh, if I can have a couple of questions, I can answer more clearly. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
let's see. Let's have some questions.
Sorry, I'm putting on the stream here so I can see the comments live. Now, guys, go ask away. What border da amigos? Yes, we're even getting the proper overseas talk here. Gmail, my phone died, so I have to use this Gmail account. That's fine. As long as you subscribed on it, I can do with another extra one. So guys, go mad. Let's have a little bit of fun. We've got Heinrich joining us, the loyal subscriber. So we can have a chat. Nice to put a face to the name, Heinrich. There's old Ryan giving me a comment. There's
Where can I see the comments?
Eh?
Can I actually see the comments or not?
You should be able to. Maybe because you're on your phone.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well, I'll read it to you. Chantel #Yuri says, look at that. How's it, guys? Good vibes. Oh, it's just good vibes motion. So
okay, I can actually see the comments now, but then there's a whole thing in front of me, so yeah.
Oh, hopefully they won't go too hectic. Welsh and Fleshen said Welsh. Thomas says hi. So guys, ask away. Let's have a bit of fun. Heinrich, tell me, when did rugby come into your life? Let's actually start with a Q&A for you from me.
Well, in my life, it's since I've been a little boy. My whole family is rugby freaks, actually.
All Bulls?
Yeah, mostly, except my step-grandmother. She's a Stormer, obviously.
What a pity.
Yeah, because my grandfather, when he was still young, he was invited to Northern Transvaal trials.
Oh,
but
really?
Unfortunately, yeah, his work didn't allow him to go.
Hectic, man.
Yeah, and as far as I know, on my father's side, Gijs Spitzer is his uncle, which is also a Northern Transvaal legend and a Springbok.
Hectic. Look at that.
Yeah.
Where does Heinrich live? People are asking.
Pretoria.
Good old Pretoria, the Boerewors curtain, as my uncle always calls it. Where about in Pretoria, out of interest?
Well, very north in Pretoria, way north, about 40 kilometers north of the city center.
How close to Woodlands area? Like Woodlands center? Yeah.
About 40 kilos.
Oh shit, north.
Yeah, isn't that like Pretoria East or something?
Yeah, that's more in the lines of towards Tambo.
Okay, yeah,
Ric Flair Dam. It's close to Ric Flair Dam.
Yeah, that's about 40 kilos.
Okay. My cousins stay on close to the one airport in Pretoria, the small one.
Vulnerable.
Kind of that. Yeah. They're close.
Yeah, that's
close
about
to there.
15 kilos away from me, actually.
Okay, so it's a little closer at least. Okay, Maurice says, what are both of our predictions for the Lions tour? I've already given that, so I'm going to leave that question to you.
Well, I think the Lions will win the provincial games, obviously. but another
All of
2-1
them.
win for the Boks. Yeah, I think they'll win all the provincial games, and yeah, it's going to be close games, but
Yeah.
I think they're going to win all the provincial ones, and then obviously one of the tests.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely be a 2-1 situation for us. But yeah, I don't know. It depends who they select, and that's what I'm excited for the most. I want you to also. You were talking. You sent me the text, and you sent it on last night's stream. But your provincial with the Stormers and the Sharks, those stats that you came up with. Maybe share a bit of that.
So basically, what I did is I went back to when professional rugby started, like the Super Rugby in 1996, and I took all the group phase games, like round robin, all those. I didn't exclude like quarterfinals and finals. And what I came up with was that the Stormers have 52% win rate, Sharks 51%, the Bulls was 48%, and that's our country's top three teams in Super Rugby.
That's interesting though, because if I remember as a youngster and growing up, the Bulls were never the strongest. They've really peaked in the late 2000s, where obviously they
I think
dominated
it's,
and won. But in the US era, they weren't as like top notch. It was always you took of the Stormers or the Sharks really, but the Bulls have really turned around and come into their own, and that's why I hope that they come back into this world.
yeah, I think 2002 till 2006, we were either winning the Curry Cup or was part of the
Yeah, but
finals.
Curry Cup, but Super Rugby, I think was a bit different. But what's your take
Mm.
on now that we can actually talk the whole because you're a bull, Jake White? What's your thoughts on him and taking over?
Well, my personal thing is Jake White. What I've seen he's done is great stuff. Okay, he's bringing back old players, but who better to teach young players than old experienced guys? You know, like
Yeah,
Aplon, he's close to 40, but he will run circles around most 20 years olds today. Okay, he'll definitely run circles
exactly.
around
I
me.
fully agree.
Uh,
So I won't even comment on that one because
and
you'll pretty run a bloody lap around me.
and yeah, what I've seen is from the Bulls Super Rugby wise is, if I'm correct, like most of the time before they won the cup, actually they were either close to the semi-final spot or they were actually in semi-finals. The Bulls, that is, I think 2004, 2005, and then
Actually, yeah, you're right.
somehow they dipped. But what I've seen the most, I think the first two competitions, the Sharks was actually either semi-finals or finals. So yeah,
Now we had quite
Stormers.
a yeah. They've definitely had their ups and downs. I mean, I love the team, but I think now they were starting to get into a better position in the sport. So I think if they could just hold on to their own and try and figure something out to get the strength, because they've got a team. I mean, Sia Khaleesi, Peter Steph, well, maybe not Peter Steph, but they've really got a squad. And I think going back to your Bulls, you've definitely got the players and the whole formula in order to be the top again. I just think it comes down to administration and where to put guys and I think Aplon's experience from being overseas, playing provincially, I think he's got a
Yeah,
cap or two for the box. I think that's going to be a big one. And I've always felt sorry for Aplon. I saw him like a bit like Chisholm Colby. He never got the opportunity that was should have been given to him. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay. Is Aplon coming to the Bulls? Nathan says. Oh yes, he is
and he's
indeed.
already
Jacob
signed.
is
So
he's already signed. There's another question. Who do you think will win the Champions Cup next season if it's played? Oh, keepers, champions. Leinster, probably.
champions. Yeah, well, the senior Saracens might not be there
Yeah,
unless I think they win the cup. I don't know what their regulations are on the, like defending
Saracens
champions
won't.
or
Saracens won't be in it next year because of the whole shit that's gone down, they're going to go down. And I think you need to be on certain top levels. That's why France are wanting to pull out because they need to be a certain percentage, and to lose or their only opportunity, they nowhere. So I think they got a few problems coming their way. So Champions Cup, I'll probably go Leinster maybe, but I'm
I
biased.
think
That's
the
what I support.
I think the final will be between a Irish team and a French team. Which ones is up to them, but I
I
think
think
those two
you,
countries will have the finals.
I think you're spot on there. I won't argue with that. Nathan says, Heinrich, how much schoolboy rugby do you watch?
Not much, actually, to be honest. I
I
just
think
like watching like repeats or something on Facebook if it comes on my timeline, but otherwise not much.
the problem in South Africa, in my opinion, I don't think they advertise schoolboy rugby as much as they should because there's a lot of potential and growth within. We see a lot of varsity cup, but schoolboys, we only see the big derbies opposed
Yeah,
to um, other games where we might see. You'll see your grade blooms, but I think more needs to be done, and that's up to Supersport in order to pick it up and get something going to it. But yeah, I think from that point, we don't get to watch more most of schoolboy rugby.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
if you see most of the times when they actually do broadcast schoolboy rugby in South Africa, it's when only when South Africa plays like home tests. That morning,
yeah,
11, 12 o'clock, you'll have like Glenwood versus Office or
yeah. You're right.
whatever.
You're right.
But that's a Super Rugby season, and so you never see that.
No, I fully agree with you there. Here's another one for you, Heinrich. What do you think the team for the Lions tour will be? That's a tough one to do on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stream.
Now
Team as
let's wait
Thomas,
another year.
team as in Springboks or Lions? I mean, I know I've done my Lions tour. I haven't done my Springboks. No point doing that because we don't know where we will. Still a lot to go. Whereas judging Six Nations, you can sort of get a team up. Nathan says, absolutely love schoolboy rugby, especially the Selborne versus Grey Bloom. This is a solid derby, that one. Thomas says Springboks. Yeah, Springbok squad's hard to decide right now because we've got a great squad, but we've also got great players that are holding. What would your opinion be, Heinrich, on the Springbok selection? Would you say keep to what we have, majority overseas, majority provincial, or shall we focus on keeping it local? Or how do you see that going around?
Well, for us to win, I would keep the team that was actually playing the World Cup because they have bonded as a team,
Agreed.
and they are still young guys that can still go a long way. But we don't know what how the new coach is going to take it. Does he want to build his own team? Is he going to do a Peter de Villiers and play on a team that he got from a previous coach? We don't know.
Mm.
Just have to wait and see.
I think the
But
beauty, and I
I,
think, yeah,
but I would like to see more local players get built towards that team than more overseas players. Because you got players here that's playing themselves into the ground for a Springbok jersey, but then they just go and get an overseas player that's playing overseas and he's walking into the team, which is
yeah,
sometimes a bit unfair.
it is. And I think that's always been um, one of our biggest problems in the Curry Cup is the youngsters fight so hard to get these teams to where they are. And then all of a sudden, here comes the big box, and they back, and these poor buggers miss out on the opportunity. So I think that's
Yeah,
always going to be an unfortunate problem, and how they will figure it out and see how to adapt. But I think as far as keeping it keeping it local, I think is important. But if we can just find a way to balance the two and to make sure that these guys keep the main moral. It's not about it's not about money. It's about the love of the sport. And I think if they can continue that, it'll be good.
yeah. Like I saw the other day, a guy making like a future Springbok team for the 2023 World Cup. And what he said actually makes sense on the scrum half. He says the three scrum halves is going to the World Cup. So who he will pick is Faf, Herschel Yankees, and I think the guy's last name is Heinrich. He played for the under 20s. And his seeing in this is you got Faf, the experienced guy that can
Mm,
mentor like Yankees, who will be in
mm,
his prime in that World Cup. And then you have the next generation, Hendricks, basically getting all of the experience from the other two for the next World Cup in 2027. And that's a great building block for a Springbok team. Basically, get your guys in
yeah,
early, get them the experience so that when the first guy time they play in a Springbok jersey is not like a Rudy Page situation at a World Cup. That's my opinion.
I agree. I fully agree. And I think it's all about rebuilding the right plans. And I think that's what Rassi did so well with what he had. He went with Buff, who was our main boy. You have the experience of Corvus as a good backup. And then Yankees was our surprise star who would shoot in. And I think that's exactly the way that guy has selected his squad for that exact reason. And I think if we can formulate it, it will do well. Nathan says, "What do you guys think of Jacques and Rusty teaming up for the box?" In my opinion, I think it's good. Um, Rusty's not gone. At the end of the day, he's still the director, so he's still going to be running things. We saw what he did with Alistair Coetzee. If he didn't do the job, he gets canned. And
Yeah.
also, Jacques and Rusty go way back. They know each other. They experience. So I think it's got a good relationship to keep going for this.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, as I've seen also in the past, is your coach and your director of rugby does or do need a good relationship. Otherwise, they're not going to sit next to the camp to the same next the same fire and the camping site and so on. Sorry, I'm struggling with my English a bit. It's
No,
not my first language.
I caught you off guard. I thought, hey, let's shock the world. Everyone was talking about it. Let's actually do this. So talk. Let's get it going. But I fully agree. Your coach has to have a strong relationship, and that campfire talk is 100% true. And Alistair Coetzee did not do that.
Mm,
It just the whole country was lost. We were doing things people wouldn't have thought of doing when they were people were burning their shirts and all that stuff. It was a dark time for SA Rugby, and Rashi rebuilt that whole strategy and structure, team moral, and that's why I will always give him the credit. So the fact that he's got his sidekick under him doing the big things, but Rashi's still watching. So it's like two good mates controlling a game, and who better? Well, they have two people who know each other, and Jacques would have had a relationship with Sia and the boys already. So I think for
yeah,
them to keep that going, it's a good move.
yeah, no, no, it's a very good move. I agree on that one.
Right, let's see what else the guys are saying. The Bulls are signing Arno Buerta back, so that's good for them. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
What do you guys think? Okay, we've said that already. Name is named as the coach, but Rush is doing all the work behind the scenes. So Rush is still the coach. I don't think that's the case. I think Rush is going to let Jacques do the job. Rush is not that kind of person who wants to take control. Alistair couldn't do the job. That's why Rush is stuck in. So I think it's going to be a hell of a good partnership, and Rush is going to give it his advice. But I think at the end of the day, Jacques is going to be the boss. What he goes, what he says, will stick around.
Yeah, I think Rassi told him when he gave him the job as head coach. He said, "Listen, it's your baby now, but I will be here for consultation, and if you have any questions and so on, and what the case may be." So he's gonna let him do his thing until maybe he struggles a bit. Then Rassi will step in and
Agree.
just help him, not take over, just like give him a little bit of push and so on.
Couldn't agree more. I think you're spot on. Um, Nathan goes on and says, I think Jake White will make a massive impact on the Bulls. And look at what happened when he went to the Sharks when they were in a tough time. Ooh, I'll debate that one a bit. I don't think he did much quite for the Sharks. He maybe did an impact. But if you guys look at the beast, he doesn't talk about that. And he actually kind of exposes Jake and saying he brought the schoolboy effect. It's like the boys had to behave. The camaraderie after a game was like thrown away. And I mean, that's important. Going out for after work drinks or something, you know, that for me is an important geest builder, as we say in South
Yeah.
Africa. So that was my worry with Jake. But I think for the Bulls, I don't know. I just have a good feeling for the two, and I think it's going to be a good formula. And it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts to Blue Bulls rugby and changes things up a bit for us. For you, I say us, you guys.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, the schoolboy, you're not allowed to go out. I can understand. I can understand that tactic in a World Cup because one match
Yes,
can
I
boot
agree.
you out of the whole World Cup. But a whole season of Super Rugby that's like 16, 20, 24 weeks, one game won't make you lose the title. So why not? And that's how you build friends in rugby anyway. So
No, I agree. I
can't see
couldn't
that
agree
point.
more. Couldn't agree more. Chantal, aka Yuri, says, Heinrich, people who speak English should understand that Afrikaans people's English is like airtime. Sometimes it just runs out. That's a good
Ja, wel,
one.
my bundel gaan nou uithardloop so.
There we go. All right, let's okay, guys. Let's get a few more in. Don't want to keep too much time away from it is Saturday evening, so let's get two or three more questions in for Heinrich and myself, and then we will call it a night so we can. Some of us haven't eaten, but Fleshen says, "How is rugby in the local level doing down there? I know it's taboo, but is it spreading from the heartlands? Um, it is maybe, then we can learn from up here in the rest of Europe. I think we do pretty well. Schoolboy provincial to club or club provincial. I think it's quite solid at the moment. I think more could be done. It's at the end of the day, the word. It depends how transformation and quota system ends up. I think that's how we need to look at it, and I think rugby's doing a good job at it. So yeah, where's because it's not right? I do not know. He's late tonight.
So, still probably chasing his mother-in-law or something. I
I
don't
was
know.
actually chirp. I was actually sending a text now on Facebook saying Heinrich's online before we disappear. Heinrich, another one for you. What does Heinrich think of Nohamba in the 20? Sorry if I said his name wrong. 2023 World Cup. Is it no? Yeah, Nohamba.
I can't actually comment on that because I do not know him actually.
Is it Nohamba Fasi? Is it Fasi from the Sharks? Jeez, I actually am lost too.
Well, if
Um,
it's fussy, then I know who it is.
I go by surnames. It's easier
Yeah.
to remember. But from a point of view of, I haven't actually asked this to anyone. When do you see rugby, or when do you see rugby returning? Wait, Sanele Mohamba. Who does he play for? I don't know him. Sorry, Thomas. I thought you were talking about
Yeah, maybe he
Fassi.
plays for Kenyan sevens team or even Zimbabwean sevens team. I don't know.
Help us out here, Thomas. But what's your take? Do you think we're going to return back to rugby?
I don't think early in this year, maybe late end of the year, early next year, maybe. Then it
Oh
will still
shit, he
be
plays for the
crowdless
Sharks. I
rugby.
should know that. Yeah,
No
I
one, I
think he's.
don't know him.
Why don't I know? It's just I've been bad with my players. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to see where we end up with the sport. I think we'll get Curry Cup, but I don't like. I'm. I reckon it's only going to be in October, November if we're lucky. I
Yeah, if we're
don't. I
lucky.
don't. I don't see it happening anytime soon for the unless our ruling drops. I don't know what level 4 entails, but if it entails some form of closed door contact, then great. But if we have to wait till New Zealand, we're not going to get it for level 2 for another 2, 3 months. So
At the rate that our cases is climbing actually with this COVID-19, I don't think we're going to even see level 3 soon, honestly.
what's it like up in Pretoria with all the infections and the rates over there? Are you guys going to see level 3? Because in the Eastern
Well,
Cape, we might not even get level 3.
by the rate of people moving around here, I think we must go to level 9 or something.
Are you guys also having a lot of people moving around?
Yeah, since the beginning of lockdown, it felt like a Sunday afternoon, actually. People
I
just
must
going around
say,
just very slower.
going out to the office yesterday was a wake up call because I hadn't experienced it since obviously going out in the normal world. So it was a big change. And seeing people driving with masks, not everyone, but some, and the people walking, I just thought cheap as I don't know how to. I saw an old colleague, I didn't even know how to greet them because it's like a totally different world. Okay, here's another one. We all know this guy. Do you guys think that Nosher will make the 2021 Box versus Lions team? I think if he can continue to play the way he did for the Sharks, I thought he was quite solid and it showed an improvement. But he's got a big competition at number 8 and 7 there. So it's going to be
Yeah.
hard to find a position because Dwayne Vermeulen, I don't think is going anywhere at this point.
Mm-mm.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. What's your take on him?
I think his best opportunity is if he can convert to like a number 6 flank, because Peter Steve is
Yeah,
on the one flank,
but what about Sia?
Vermeulen at the back.
Can't kick
Well,
our captain.
that well, that's why I said that's his best
Yeah.
opportunity to play him actually out, because there's no way he's going to play out Peter Steph or Vermeulen, in my
Well, that's a
opinion.
problem. That's the kind of problem the All Blacks now sit with because they've cemented Sam Cane as your captain. But what about Artie Savia, who's been playing the best rugby in the past year for the All Blacks? You've got Scott Barrett. You've got a hell of a lot of players competing for this position. Who the hell gets it? And how do you do it? Nathan says not chef or bench. Yeah, maybe that can work. Um, but he's also of an age now. Will he be? I mean, it sounds like it's not a long time, a year from now. But after the year we've just had, we've often spoken about these guys are going to get back to training. Tackling is not going to be the same anymore. It's going to be hard hitting. And these guys' bones and bodies, I think you even commented last night, it's not going to be the same. Once a guy gets a proper tackle again, it's going to really knock someone out. Um, you can do your fit. You said it actually. Fitness training versus contact sport training is totally different.
No, it's nothing the same actually. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about experience here. I actually did
No, there we
fitness
go.
at my rugby club. Then first match, never had a hit like that in my life. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I mean that can be, for example, if we look at Peter Steph Toy, it looks like because it's not right, it's going to pop in now. Peter Steph Toy has been injured for how long now? Quite a few months. He's going to come
Mm.
back into a big environment. They're going to expect so much, and then all of a sudden, one hit, he's the next Bobby Skinstone. He's on and off, on and off, on and off. I hope not, but it's those kind of scary things that could happen, and this goes for any international rugby team because we're all in the same situation, and that's why I'm very curious to see how these New Zealand teams adapt. I'm actually extremely excited because New Zealand is so up there. I want to see their level of intensity to see how they progress. Maybe it's just me, but I think there are a lot of people who are going to be excited for this tournament.
Yeah, but coming back to that first hit, most players that I've seen after a big injury, when they come back, it's like they're afraid of the ball, afraid to get injured again. Then they will never reach that level that they got.
Mm,
Like, say, RG Snyman, for example, he comes back from a bad knee injury. We will
yeah,
never see him flying down the wing, offloading, because as soon as he gets the ball, he's going to give it away, just not to get tackled, because of being afraid of getting injured again.
yeah, 100%. I fully agree with you there. And I think that's definitely something we're going to have to worry about. Thanks, Hunting, Hochi, Van Heerden, for that $7. And I should appreciate that, um, but I think that's the thing, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that, is that fear tactic. So I always look at Scott Berger. I mean, that neck surgery he had was absolutely terrifying, and the fact that he came to play rugby again after that was amazing. So I think if hopefully Peter Steff will be that same type of individual to come back from that strength because he's still young. But I'd hate for someone who's so freaking good to waste talent. What's up, Zane? Welcome to the stream. We were just talking about you earlier, bud. This is Heinrich, by the way. You can now put a face. I don't think you've actually seen what Heinrich looks like, so he's joined the party now. But yeah, injury is scary, eh?
No, it is very scary.
But we'll just have to wait and see. Fassi for 15 bucks to kick Vili out. On injury levels, look at Khaleesi with his knee, and I know, yeah, Khaleesi's also been one who's been hit with a few injuries these days. So we've got to see how long his fitness can last. I mean, he's hardly played this year. So now it's going to be a very testing time for these guys.
Yeah, and that, like I said about Fassi in the box, I think maybe he's still a bit, still too young in my opinion. Maybe
I
just bring
agree.
him into like that training camps, let him work with Willie, and so on,
They
let
don't want to
him
do
basically,
they don't want to do another Patrick Lambie. For
yeah,
me, they
exactly.
bought him too soon, and look where Patrick got. He got knocked out. He got concussed too many times, and I said it long before. I mean, I rate the kid, and I'm a Shark supporter, but I said to Mario that I said they are rushing Patrick Lambie into the Springboks way too soon. And
Yeah.
where's he now? He's a talent that should have been in this past World Cup, but it was forced to retire due to injury. They jumped him too quickly, and we lost a gem of an international player who had the caliber of doing something like what Brent Russell or even Vali LaRue could do. So I fully agree with you on that comment about Fussy. I wouldn't want him to be rushed in too soon. Otherwise, we're going to destroy a career.
Yeah, I'll say bring him into the Springbok setup, like training camps and so on,
Mm,
and let him just dig and basically pick Willie's brain for experience, what to do here, what to do if this happens, and so on. But don't let him play yet, or maybe bring him from the bench when we play a team like Georgia. Not that I'm saying Georgia's a
yeah,
bad team, but rather give them experience there, the young guys, than playing like Scotland or Ireland or even New Zealand.
I agree. I mean, those are the opportunities is when we do play against these types of teams is to get the opportunity then. So I fully agree with you there on that. So
Or even
yeah, what was that? Sorry.
no, that's like say for example, England tours South Africa and like make a SA 18 that plays Namibia in a double header before. Then you get those young guys. It's upcoming Springboks. Put them into that team playing a team like Namibia, which will help Namibia financially as well. Even in like teams like Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Uruguay, all those small union teams that needs financial help to come and play like an SA 18 or stuff like that. Then basically give them that international experience.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and it gives them an opportunity to shine and do something different. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Do you think Duan Funamaver, sorry if I said his name wrong, will make it for SA or for the British Lions in 21? I don't know.
Which one? Sorry.
Do it. Duan, Duhan, Funamaver. Isn't he a shot? Oh shit. Okay, next one.
I think I've
That you know
I think I've heard of him. Isn't he one of the guys that's coming back now? Like
could
a
be.
young guy. Yeah, I think so. Well, if he's coming back, obviously he's gonna play for the Box in the future. So
No, they only come back for a reason. These guys. He plays in Scotland. Okay, no wonder we don't know where he is.
yeah,
Okay, let's see. Maybe South Africa needs an A. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Chester says he said this last night. South Africa needs an A team to play like Namibia and Georgia. I agree.
yeah,
We need a. We said this last night. I think we all agreed was we need to, excuse me, give an opportunity for the A team to build the team. I mean, that's what they were there for, is to give an opportunity to build these youngsters, like you were just talking about.
yeah. I wonder what happened to like that Nations Cup where we always send an emerging Springbok team. Why did that stop? Or did that whole competition stop, or did we just stop sending teams over there?
Yeah, I don't know what will follow along those lines in order to stop that, because it's something, and that's why I was so big on bringing back the tours, because I mean, for the Lions tour, SA 15 international or invitational, I've never heard of that bloody team, but now we're hearing of it again because of the tour. So if tours come back to the sport, we're going to get more opportunities in order to see these types of things. And then you've often said it, creating a tournament locally to ignite fans, to give everyone an opportunity and experience. It's great playing against the Springboks, but having an opportunity to play with the Springboks in like a Curry Cup would be something quite special.
Yeah, no, it would. But like I said, that Super League platform or example I was using is basically not get money involved for the players, because then we're going to sit in a situation we're sitting now where the richest union's going to buy the best players.
Mm.
Like have a draft or whatever that the Springboks get distributed equally into each team with first division teams and so on. Then like you just mentioned now, playing with a Springbok, being roommates with a Springbok, and so on is much better than playing against them.
Yeah. And I think it's just going to inspire these guys to go that extra mile in order to achieve a dream. I mean, we all know what it's like meeting our heroes. For these guys to actually
Yeah,
play alongside their heroes, it will be a remarkable moment. And I think a lot of these, that's also, and that's one thing we never, or I don't always remember, is when these guys go into these overseas deals, it's an opportunity to play with the likes of big names, Dan Carter. I mean, shit, just imagine sharing the field with the greatest All Black in the world. I mean, that's not something someone will ever be able to say. And I think those are the things that maybe trigger these guys in also taking these deals, not just the money, but being able to play with these heroes and stars. I mean, I'll never forget watching Newcastle Falcons, I think it was. You had Johnny Wilkinson and Matt Burke in one team. Those are my two international heroes. And the amount of learning these guys can do. Lions, Johnny Sexton, Owen Farrell. I mean, the brains in a one team. Now,
yeah,
creating that down here in South and North, creating a Curry Cup on steroids, where Springboks are forced to play for the Pumas, the Griquas, the Falca. Shit, that will ignite something in this country, and I think it's your idea. This, and I think it would be spot on for an opportunity to arise like this.
yeah. Then people will actually look forward to watching a Falcon versus Bulldogs slash Chihuahuas
Exactly.
a match.
Good old Bulldogs. Thomas says,
Yeah,
do you think Quokka will play in the Lions tour? Shit, I wish, but there's too much competition.
yeah, he's in a very tough position where we actually have too much depth in South Africa in that position.
Agreed.
Unless he can switch to water boy or scrum half or whatever, he's
Yeah,
not gonna play Lions.
I agree. It's sad because I think he offers so much to the sport, but I just don't see him doing it. Fletcher, okay, we'll finish a couple more because I don't want to take too much of the datas that you're having, or and also the time. But let's go. Why do the French? What don't the French African-speaking countries get more involved in regional rugby, where we all know they play rugby in their own countries, but end up in France? Shit, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Tough question.
They go for the money.
Man,
I, I think that's it.
yeah,
Right, Chester says we really need a big Springboks tour to England with midweek games against teams like Bath and Exeter. I agree. And that's what we've been saying all along is to vice versa. South Africa needs it too, to create. Just imagine an old school tour against the bloody All Blacks, where the All Blacks play the Bulls and the Sharks and the Stormers, and the Springboks play the Crusaders, the Hurricanes, and the Chiefs. I mean, it's international rugby, provincial, but at a whole new level. Because it's not
because
right, it's just arrived. Sorry, before I forget. The legend.
yeah,
Heinrich is here.
yeah. I think the last time South Africa played like a provincial team or whatever in England, I think it was 2006. I think we actually lost that match as well. I think Chili
Yeah.
Boy Rolapella was captain that day. Who were we
Yeah.
playing? Not sure who we
You
were
know,
playing.
people argue, people still argue with me. There's an odd person on Facebook because it's not right. Welcome to the stream, bud. Glad you could join just before I continue. And whenever you talk about Sia being the first captain, Chili Boy was captain of that game. And people refer back to that one where Chili Boy was the first. He wasn't the first. He was just a replacement for John Smith because John wasn't going to play in that game. And oh man, Chili Boy, he ticks me off. He joins the Sharks. He gets so many doping tests. The fact that he's still playing rugby or hasn't retired amazes me because he's just been in so much shit. That's why the Bulls got rid of him. He comes to the Sharks. He does the same bloody thing. How he's still getting credited, I don't know. But maybe I'm just biased,
Yeah,
but I don't rate him.
what most people misunderstand is Sia is labeled as South Africa's first black captain because he was actually captaining the box in tests.
Mm,
Chili Boy in that, it wasn't an official test. It was like a warm-up game, so it doesn't technically count.
exactly. Exactly.
If you,
And it's like, oh, he wasn't he was the first test and official captain, not and that's the thing people forget. There's a big difference between a stand-in captain and an official captain for tests. There's a big difference in the sport. So I agree. I'm glad we're on the same page there. Nathan agrees too. I just never rated him. For the Cheetahs, he was good. Don't get me wrong, he was good then. But as soon as the gold dreadlocks went, he lost his form. And it's not right. But anyway, guys, two more questions. I know I've said this 50 times, but I'm enjoying this one. Two more, and then we call it a night. I didn't realize it was 8:30, so it's already going. Okay, Kwaka, we've already asked that question. Do you think Kwaka will play 12 center? Geez, no. Well, shit, he's quick, but no, we've got so much depth within our centers. right now. There's no space
Now
for him, sadly.
then I'll rather have Bosch on 10 and Pollard on 12.
Yeah,
They
I
just have
agree.
more backline experience than Quagga does. Because where
Except now that,
in the
yeah,
world,
yeah.
because where in the world you will see inside or outside center go ball fetching in the middle of a rock.
But that's a scary point you just brought up now, is that the options we've got, Bosch, 10, Pollard, 12. I mean, there's so much talent there. The only thing with Bosch, and myself and Socks have said this often, is the pressure. Can he handle the pressure? And so, yeah, I rate him highly, and I think he's brilliant, and I think he's matured a lot the past year and a half. But if he can handle the Springbok jersey, because I'll never forget the, what was it? Under 21 World Cup against England. He threw that game for me because of his kicking. So if you can just
Yeah.
get his, again, rush too soon. If they don't rush him, he's fine. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
But then
All right,
again,
Hein. Yep.
if you can't play under pressure, then you won't make it in the any position in the backline of Springbok jersey. So then
We
it'll
don't
just
need
be
another
a
Huffy
great,
toy. So, yeah.
yeah.
You don't want to destroy it and break a challenge. But I think let's she's 46 minutes. Can you believe it, eh? We've been talking. But a good stream. I'm glad we finally got you on. We will have you back, don't you worry. But I think because I surprised you, let's end it now. And then we will continue this on a proper full one sometime soon. Because I think both of us have a lot of passion to share. And it's always nice to debate and discuss it. So to all you guys who've chatted and came back on me, I know I lost a few, but hey, it's good. The man himself, Heinrich, the one who's always got the blue name, he's right here. So it was good joining, and thanks for joining, Heinrich, and taking time out your evening to join me on this one. Unexpected, but I had fun, and I hope you did too. And we'll definitely do it again soon.
I also had fun. As long as you don't blame my face for losing viewers, it's all good.
No, that's my face. No worries. Don't worry. Now, cool, man. Have a lucky weekend further and all the best, and enjoy your last few days off because you're still on leave, aren't you? Or is
I'm
it
starting
finishing now?
Monday again.
And
Yeah.
well, then I'll definitely let you go freely. But shot, man, we'll definitely chat soon. And thanks for joining. It was good. Cheers, guys. To all of you out there, stay safe and you know the rules. Never give up. And we'll chat soon. More to come next weekend. So stay tuned. Cheers, guys. Keep well.
Bye.
Cheers, bud.